This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cage Side Press here with the UFC flyweight who just can't stop starting up new businesses and fighting Dione Barbosa at UFC Vegas 94 on July 20th. Miranda, Fear the Maverick. Miranda, very nice to see you again. Very nice to talk to you. I'm sorry we couldn't make it in person. They've got you moving around. Let's start with this though. The you've been so invested in Prowler Pickles. What made you want to get into the honey business now?
So I've actually been raising honeybees since I was 12 years old. It was the first thing I ever spent my own money on. Like that was
How
a
do
big
I not know this after like 20 interviews?
I don't know. It's something random. Like we have it back on the ranch at home and we still have 3 hives at home and trying to expand again. My dad loves honey. We all love honey. And since the kids have moved out, like they've kind of gotten neglected. Like, of course, we still feed them and everything, but only 2 hives are like going. And now we're trying to expand. But within that, I was like, you know what? Like, we don't have enough honey to sell because we eat so much, but I'd love to get the local beekeepers and stuff in Missouri and then out here in Colorado and like expand their market. Like in Missouri, there's a lot of Mennonites. They don't get on social media, they don't advertise. And I was like, hey, it'd work if I was basically a broker for them, right? Like I buy their honey wholesale and then I sell it or I give them a percentage. And the same thing out here in Colorado, there's a lot of small beekeepers that just don't have like the platform that I have or the knowledge to get into farmers markets and stuff like that. So thought, why not? Another business opportunity. I love honey. Anyone who doesn't like honey, I'm afraid is a psychopath or something. So, hopefully you like honey.
So I want to know a little bit about young Miranda because I feel like 90% of people, it's like, I'm 90% sure I bought like, I'm a little older than you, so I was still able to buy a CD for music with my first
Uh-huh.
paycheck. And not that that was all I could afford, but I remember that being my first purchase. I've had a lot of friends who want to buy some other stuff and clothes and all that. What made you say, like, you know what? Like you work that first job, you get that first check, and you say, you know what, mom, dad, bees. I want
You know,
honey for it.
I was just raised, I feel like, to go after like long-term dreams. And I was like, what will I want when I'm older? And I loved honey. And I started doing beekeeping classes and stuff. I wanted to learn all about them because we had like a swarm of bees that we found on our place. I didn't know anything about how to get them down or what to do. But my dad had cut down a tree and there was a beehive in it. And that's kind of what got us first interested. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do this the right way instead of just patching it together and looking online. So I spent it on that. And I guess technically my first ever purchase was like a month or two before that. And I bought a chainsaw. So like that's how I work. I was like, whatever can make me more money, I would buy something that would then help me make more money. And we were just kind of raised to have that business mindset. Like clothes and stuff can go to waste. For me, it was like if I buy a chainsaw, I can cut firewood. If I cut firewood, I can make money out of that and then buy more things.
All right, very fair. That was probably a lot smarter than the things I spent my money on, so fair enough. High stakes, honey. First off, I love the branding. I'm not gonna lie, for a second it almost felt like a little bit like it almost looks like one of those like new crypto coins, almost the way it's just so clean and sharp, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, like wait, like is this something I invest in? What made you want to roll, hypothetically like roll with that like dice?
I don't even know. At first, I was like, should it be Hold'em honey or something? I really wanted to do the card theme. I just think it looks so cool and clean. And once I start making flavored honey, I'm going to call it like this flavor is Ace honey. It's got cinnamon and this and this. And I want to use like AI to make like these bee like almost portraits of family. It's hard to show you on here because that sounds weird, but like bee decorated queen, like a queen with like yellow and black all on them and like a bee crown and things like that. And just have that be the different flavors eventually. But I was like, I need a generalized label. And I was like, I want it to be a bee with a crown on it or something. And I thought about the name and I finally was like, oh, this is awesome, like high stakes honey. And it kind of just stuck. And now I'm growing with it. It's only been a couple weeks and trying to get the name out there, getting official labels made, all that done. Just got done making the Instagram and Facebook page for it. So you guys go check it out. High Stakes Honey. It's at the same website as prowlerpickles.com. I'm just sharing the website right now. So you can go to both shops underneath that site. I have creamed honey, I have regular honey, I have little decor that you can sell. like party favors and stuff for baby showers and stuff like that. So if you guys have any parties or birthdays or something like that you want to throw with a bee theme or honey theme, I got you. Just message me.
All right, love to hear it. Like you said, proudlypickles.com. You can find the new products on the site for high stakes honey. Love it. I got another one. We know you as actually, if you don't follow Miranda on Facebook, which I'll be honest, I know less people do nowadays with all the apps, they may not realize how invested you are in the card breaking business. I
Mhm.
mean, you do quite a lot. The new Topps UFC cards. Do you like them even though they have committed the crime of not adding you to a set yet?
I do like them. I think their designs are very cool. Like they have a lot more designs. It's almost overwhelming because it's like when
Yes.
was like, man, I don't know what this one's called and this one. And like there's so many new ones and all their different inserts are really cool. I love them, especially the different color blast versions.
Yeah, when I was doing videos too, and we talked about this, I had like a whole page in my notebook. It's like, bro, I'm pretty sure I didn't do some this much studying for some classes in college. They had so much.
Exactly.
Um, they
And I
do.
but I'm actually not breaking anymore actively, but maybe I'll do a few guest appearances for once.
Okay, yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I personally, I liked how you set it up. You don't strike me as someone who is out there like collecting Pokemon and all that. So the fact that, you really got into it, I thought that was really cool for the record.
Thank you.
Are you hoping you get added? They have that tops now where like events during the year. It's not like you're added to the sets that are out now, but they will do kind of like a made to order for certain fighters. Are you hoping you get added to that this year at some point?
Man, there's so many things I hope I get added to. The tops cards, I hope I'm out in them next year. I don't really know why it wasn't this year. It's funny what fighters they include and don't include. I always say somebody back there in their meeting room has some favorites. That's all. And then, I'd love to get on the UFC video game. That's kind of the big like out that I'm waiting for.
You know what? Hey, from your lips to God's ears, let's make it happen, right? Campaign. Let's talk about some business, of course. So, fighting still on July 20th. Your date did not get moved. You originally set to fight Tracy Cortez. I know what it meant to you to fight someone higher in the rankings. Obviously, Tracy's in a good moment, big name right now on the card. Uh, Walk me through it. Just getting the phone call and your reaction. They're moving up Tracy.
There's a huge story behind that. I'm not sure what all I can like say publicly, but I'll give some vagaries. I was the first one to get called. I had just got done sparring with Rose like 10 minutes prior when I got the phone call. And I was kind of pissed, of course. Like, not only did my opponent get moved, but it got given to basically a teammate. And they hadn't even told me during sparring. And I was like, wow, like, how rude. So I like messaged Pat and he was he didn't even know. Like, we ended up getting on the phone and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Why wouldn't you tell me that you guys took my opponent the whole time we were sparring and stuff? Like, what the heck?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, literally had no idea. And I was like, "Oh no." Like, "Oh,
Oh,
I don't know."
so you broke the news to Rose
Yeah,
ish?
they had no idea and they didn't even call them for days, like a few days to tell them about it because they were trying to negotiate with Tracy and stuff. Um Between that negotiation, I guess Tracy didn't want to at first. I got thrown into the hat as far as fighting Rose. Like Pat literally asked me if I would fight her, and I was like, I mean, if you guys are cool with it, I'm cool with it. So we were up in the air with that a few days. It was pure chaos. Like media was posting stuff before anything was official on our end at all. And it ended up happening pretty much the way they said. Like they got Tracy, I got Dion, but like for a week or so, it was just we have no idea what's happening. Very
E-
stressful.
Everything was in the paperwork phase and all that kind of stuff, so to speak.
Not even yet. Like social media knew more
Wow.
than we. I don't know who was telling what. I hadn't even gotten a call about Dion. Like so many different things happened where we were just like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just hoping I get to fight.
Just so they wanted Tracy. Was there ever a moment where you did kind of call the powers that be, whether it be Sean Mick or whoever, like, hey guys, like, I'll make this easy. I'll just fight Rose and, easy negotiation. Was that ever on the table? Out of
Yeah,
curiosity.
like that became part of it. And basically, I think they were pretty set on having Tracy and ended up negotiating with her and making it happen, which, she's higher ranked. Um, I'm sure that they wanted to promote her because of her fan base and all that. So it is what it is. But I'll get that opportunity at some point. And Mick's been very communicative, and hopefully I'll get a quick turnaround after this one to kind of make up for it and get somebody that's ranked.
Final question on that situation. How do you see that one going between Tracy and Rose later this week?
I'm rooting for Rose, and I think she can get it done. She's just so fast. I've been training with her almost every sparring since the beginning of both of our camps, and I'm really excited for it. I was really excited for me to go against Tracy, but now we get to watch the beatdown between her and Tracy.
What I think it really works for Rose in that fight, if we're no put on the analyst hat, is that Tracy, I actually feel implements a lot of similar things to Macy Barber. I want to know if you feel the same way, having fought Macy and just maybe your prep a bit for Tracy.
I don't think that Tracy's as much of a pressure fighter. I think she's a person that kind of picks and chooses and point fights a lot. Like, she's very smart when she fights. She doesn't run forward and try to win the fight. She tries not to lose the fight. And that's how I see Tracy going with Rose. And I think Rose is a very good point fighter, but also has such fast hands and movement. I don't know that Tracy will be able to control the space and the pressure. So I honestly think that this Tracy fight is probably a better fight for Rose than Macy was, even though I think she could have gotten it done there too. But Macy just has more pressure, more physicality, um, just a total different style, in my opinion.
No, I definitely could see that as you break it down for sure. Talking about Dione Barbosa, obviously, new girl. I know you wanted someone higher ranked, but they find someone, so the hard work doesn't go to waste. Just what are your thoughts on Dion's game and what she brings to the table as an opponent?
Yeah, she has that judo background. I know she has decent grappling. She has decent striking. Her cardio has looked pretty poor in prior fights, but that can always change like that. So I'm not gonna go in there like, oh, after round one she'll be tired. Like, I'm ready for anything. I'm definitely expecting her best. She's gonna come out hard, just like she has before, and I'll be ready for it. And I've just got to go in and basically show why I need a ranked opponent, and I plan on setting an example with Dion.
And then for yourself, I mean, back-to-back wins, obviously this year, coming off a good one in February. Just what are you looking to show out there with this one? And because three in a row, big moment for any UFC contender. What do you most want to accomplish by the end of the year in terms of your in-cage career?
Yeah, I want to have this fight and hopefully at least one more. I'd love to fight again in September. That's kind of what I'm calling for, or beginning of October. And hopefully get another one beginning of 2025. I'm hoping by then I get in the rankings. I'd love to be in the top 10 area by end of the year if I get that other fight. But no matter what, I want a ranked opponent and want to keep moving up the ladder. I feel like I've been at this stagnant, like 14, 15 mark since basically my start in the UFC, because I always just get unranked opponents or take short notices or whatever else happens with the wins and losses, and keep staying right there. And I'm like, man, I want to just break that and go to the top 10 or so.
Yeah, I also find it slightly criminal. I looked at the rankings because I'm like, wait, you should still be at number 15, and somehow someone got bumped. And I was like,
Yeah,
this is. I also
yeah,
felt like they should have kept you guys higher on the card. I think that you've been putting in a lot of work. So I hope by the time we get the final lineup that they show you that and it reflects that. You know what I mean?
for sure. It's like every 2 weeks that thing gets updated, and it's hard to ever tell people like, oh, you're not in the rankings. I'm like, well, it was last week. I don't know. Like, fights
And,
happen.
and
It's
like
all
no flyweights will fight or like any division. It's like, bro, nobody fought. People just changed opinions when they did the rankings again. What the
yeah,
heck?
exactly.
All right. Miranda, obviously a great moment. We appreciate the time. Any final message to your fans who either they want to still get pickles, honey, follow you, anything else?
Yeah, you guys go support. Obviously, watch the fight July 20th. But also, if you want any pickles, want any honey, want to just support me, you can go to fearthemaverick.com, where all my merch and memorabilia is, or you can go check out prowlerpickles.com to actually support the small businesses. On both those sites, you can use code INDEPENDENCE until July 12th. So you got a couple more days.
Well, there you have it. Miranda Maverick taking on Dione Barbosa, July 20th, ESPN Plus. You guys know where to go to watch UFC in the United States. Best of luck, Miranda.